Hello out there, our dear viewers. It's Mark to Mark. You might recognize this face, so you know that it's about time we talked sports. This is the place where we have a sports conversation every week, and it's the best sports conversation in town. I have Mark alongside me as well. That's why it's called Mark to Mark. I'm Mark Sally. I have Mark Mlamanya with me. Our beautiful host, our dear pal, has stepped off the set for a little bit, but we will continue to do this without her in the hope that we get her back shortly. So, without further ado, I'm just going to go straight into what we have today. We'll start with Chan. That tournament is just a few hours away. It's a stone throw away, if you like. We'll discuss that and then have a conversation about a few other things. Those few other things are actually quite exciting because this is a great week for sport. Champions League football. We've got leagues in Europe running down. It's called the title running. That is happening in Spain and in Italy. In England, it's over, but the fight for Champions League places is still on, and it's as exciting as if they were fighting for the title. So we'll talk about that as well. We've got golf. We've got NBA basketball. The playoffs are hot, and yeah, a whole host of conversations in which we would like for you to actually join in. So comments below, as well as any questions or answers that you want for us to give or listen to. Mark, Chan.
Well, it's getting hot in Chan because as of this week, I can speak here with certainty that all the three governments, the government of Kenya, the government of Tanzania, and the government of Uganda, have already committed $13 million each in cash to the tournament on the respective accounts of the three countries, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, which accounts will be managed both by CAF and the government, and of course the FA, the Kenyan FA, the Ugandan FA, and the Tanzanian FA. And in addition to that, I can speak with certainty that work on the various infrastructure developments is at 80 to 90% done. I do know that work at Chambogo, which we'll be visiting, my committee will be visiting it, communications, branding and signage, we'll be visiting it next week. Work at Wankuluku Stadium, a few changes around Kisu, and even at Kadiba, which is property of the FA. Work there is upwards of 85%. So I think the tournament is nearing thick and fast, and the changes that have been put in place right up there with the demands of CAF. This week, at least for my committee, which I belong to, that is the communications, branding and signage, we've already embarked on the roadmap to tick a couple of boxes on the deliverables that have been assigned. I do believe that Mark, your committee as well, is having back and forth meetings about the same. But I do know that the powers that be are excited, the government is excited. The First Lady, Mama Janet Kataha, has reiterated the need for a good work ethic, people to work for the good of the country, because this is a legacy tournament, and for just about each one to ensure that this tournament leaves a lasting legacy for Uganda ahead of Pamoja. Because while we've been focusing on Chan, we have to remember that Chan is a dry run for Pamoja, which is the Africa Cup of Nations, to be staged in 2027. So, of course, there's work which is going across various other committees. There's the one to do with ICT. There's work which is being done around doping controls. There's one of security. There's marketing. There are all these various committees which are working around the clock to ensure that the tournament is delivered well and safely to the entire world. And then, of course, the national team, the Uganda Cranes, because the team hasn't been summoned yet. as the league winds up. But you can be sure that after the league, we shall have a clearer picture of the squad which will be summoned by Paul Put for the tournament, which kicks off on August 2nd and will last an entire month, with the final being played on August 31st. So I'm excited for the tournament, and the vibes in Uganda are the similar are also being experienced in Kenya and Tanzania, who will also be hosting the tournament. Uganda will be hosting. So I think we have a reason to look forward as a country.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I agree with you entirely on the activities, and I believe that if Ugandans, for example, had not quite heard about the hype around Chan, they're going to hear of it soon. I think this month we're going into of May is going to actually signal a lot of activity around it. The countries have been preparing, like you said, behind closed doors largely, but now I believe that we're going to be going out into the public. Your committee, Mark, media, where you are with Dr. Mujimba and the rest, is going to be playing a crucial role in going into the public. But I also sit on a committee which is for spectator services and fans experience, and therefore there'll be a lot of work for us which will involve the public, because that public is supposed to be two-way for us. It's supposed to involve the people who are walking into the stadium, paying tickets or whatever it is, or VVIPs and all, coming in to watch the games, as well as the people who are going to occupy, fill up the fun parks that we intend to have. So the committee I sit on, I mean, it's chaired by Honorable Chidega, and has such people as Bob Keynes, who is a big events manager in this town. It's got Abrika Gonyora, big events manager in this town. Everybody knows him. Edward Kalunji from FUFA is our secretary. I think the Federation, FUFA, have secretaries on all the committees, and that helps because they're the FA that runs football in the country.
Actually, from my committee, it's Ahmed Hussein.
Ahmed Hussein,
who is the FUFA communication director.
He's
So
also
he's also
your secretary.
And the veteran journalist. Yes, he is. Yes.
Yeah, so it's important to have the federation provide secretaries for all the committees, because they are central to everything, being the guys who actually govern the sport on the ground in the country. So yeah, there's definitely, if for example in Uganda haven't felt it, we're going to be coming with a tour, with a trophy to a place near you. And once we are there, you're going to learn everything that has to do with the tournament. And then, absolutely, by the time we leave your town, or your village, or your neighborhood, or your pub, or whatever it is, you will definitely have bought into Chan. So yes, Mark, it's something that we need to drive. Like you said, the decisions that are supposed to be made about where opening ceremony is going to be, and the opening match, and where the finals will be, which stadiums will host the two semi-finals and things, and maybe perhaps a third playoff and all. Whatever those decisions are, every part of East Africa is definitely going to have a major event as far as Chan is concerned. And then, of course, each one of them outside of the major events will then have their home team playing in their home stadium, 3 group matches at the very least, in which we are going to get an opportunity to see our own boys. Ours here in Uganda, are largely being picked out of Vipers and Kitara. I think they dominate that team. And then you've got a lot of SC Villa and KCCA as well. There's a sprinkling of players from everywhere. Bull, Express has got somebody in there.
Even
Neck, who have been one of the revelations of the season, have got players in there as well. So it will be a good mix. That squad, like Mark says, once the league is done, we're about 5 matches away from finishing the league.
Yeah.
And the semi-finals for the cup have also been set. I think Vipers up against Kitaran, KCC against Kataka. Those semi-finals should be done by 18th May, and the final also in that month, I think. And then after that, we can really be thinking Chan.
Of
All
course,
those players will be preparing for that tournament. Yeah.
as I speak right now, I think in the next month, because May is upon us, we'll get to know the official mascot for Chan 2024. It's actually Chan 2024 match that's being held in 2025. And then we'll know the theme song as well, and the logo. So for most of these tournaments, Mark, you've been to AFCON, you've been to World Cups. Somehow, it's the logo and the theme song which gives the tournament identity and some kind of blessing. So again, from the Ghana perspective, purely Ghana perspective, Mark, because we're Ugandans, because government is going to spend close to 1.3 billion shillings, by the way, in so many things around Chan, not for Chan, but around Chan, because I know that there's work which is happening at Peche Stadium, there's work which is happening with that Gulu Airport, Mark, and I think the head of state did direct that they connect, they build a road which is connecting
Guru to Lira.
Guru to Lira, you're aware.
Without having to go through
Exactly.
Kamdini. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also work around various other grounds in the country, work happening at Bomber grounds in Mbarara and a couple of them, because the government has decided to make all these changes in this period when they've decided to prioritize sport. And I think that can only be a very, very positive. For us as sports geeks, listen, that works perfectly for us, because for years on end we've been crying for sport to be given some kind of priority, and here it is, and it's coming in abundance at the most important time. So, these are truly interesting times, Mark.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Mark. Chan, well, of course, well, like we said, this is the one place where you'll have to stop every week to get updates on what's going on there, because we are going to be hands-on, joining the bigger team to ensure that you get a good tournament now, and all in preparation for what should be the climax of this entire activity, and that is Chan 2027, to be hosted, of course, in East Africa.